Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and go check out our Instagram pages where I post daily original photos of our life, our animals, and everything in between. So as promised it's nighttime right now as I'm filming this. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about how we feed our hatchlings, what has worked for me, how we've had good success, and we have one out of all of our hatchlings so far that is needed to be assist fed, and I'm going to go ahead and show you this evening how I go about doing that. So we have had 3 clutches so far, and like I said, out of those 3 clutches, we had 6 the first one, 11 on the second clutch, and then we had 6 that survived out of the third clutch. And out of all of those babies, what is that, 23 babies, we have had 1 that has had trouble eating. So the way I go about starting our hatchlings, which is the way a lot of people start out, is using a live mouse hopper. And let me go ahead and show you the size mouse hopper that I start out with our hatchlings. So we just happen to have a bunch of little mouse hoppers in here. And those are the little itty bitty babies. As you can see, that's one of the mamas. That's Papa. Hi, Papa. And those are the little mouse hoppers. Now, they are a little bit on the small size. Now, a hatchling could take a potentially larger prey item. However, this is the perfect prey item to start off a baby hatchling. It moves around. It stimulates that innate instinct that, hey, I'm supposed to eat that. Plus, it is fairly small, so it's not as intimidating. Sometimes if you give a hatchling a little bit larger prey item, it can be very intimidating for the baby hatchling. So a lot of breeders have had great success with a live mouse hopper. I'm getting all tongue-tied this evening. A live mouse hopper, and we have seen great success with it as well. So for the first 2 feedings, I feed a live mouse hopper. After that, I will switch to a live rat pup. So it's a little bit bigger prey item, but doesn't move around quite as much. You can do a live rat fuzzy, maybe if you have a smaller hatchling. They move around a little bit, but it's not going to be quite as intimidating. You want to make sure that it has fur though. I got this tip, I can't remember who posted on Instagram, but I got this tip from them. Make sure your prey item has hair on it. I don't know what it is with that. Especially with the ball pythons, but having hair on whatever prey item you are feeding causes an increase in success. Again, I don't know the science behind it. I don't know why. I just know that we have greater success when it has hair. Don't try to give them pinkies. Pinkies squeak and they don't really move around a whole lot, so it doesn't stimulate that instinct. But if you have a fuzzy or a pup, it greatly, stimulates their instinct because it moves around. So for the third feeding, we feed a live rat fuzzy or a live rat pup, depending on the size of the hatchling. Now, for the 4th feeding, we always try to switch to a frozen thawed prey item. Now, this is not for our convenience, but this is for the consumer or the person who's going to be buying the hatchling. Whether it's a pet or not, if you're a smaller hobbyist breeder, a lot of people don't have access to live prey items. So this is more of a convenience for the person that's going to be purchasing the hatchling. Most of the time, if you can get ball pythons switched to a frozen prey item and you continue to feed them that way, then most of the time you can feed them alive or a frozen thawed, and they will go back and forth, which is what we found with a lot of our collection. Now, in our collection total, I have 1 male that's about a year old that he will take nothing but live. And I have two females, maybe 1 breeding male that prefer a fresh kill or a live item. I've gotten them all to a fresh kill. Every once in a while I can get a frozen thawed, but fresh kill is really what they prefer. But the majority of ball pythons, you can get them switched to a frozen thawed fairly quickly, and it's a lot easier as a hatchling. So we are trying to do that for our customers, the people who are going to be buying the hatchlings. It just makes it a little bit more convenient for those people. Now, of course, if you have a hatchling that maybe doesn't want the item that you are feeding them, so say by the 3rd feeding, maybe they don't want the live rat fuzzy or rat pup, then maybe, you know, if I find that they don't want that, I will give them another live mouse hopper, because we want to get them established feeding on a regular basis, and then I will try again the next week. Now, there's only been, I think, 2 or 3 out of the hatchlings where I had to do 3 weeks worth of the live mouse hoppers before I could switch to a live rat. But the majority of them, I offered a frozen thawed rat, and they took it right away, right after the live mouse hopper. So I got to skip the other step altogether. Now, out of all of these, except for the one assist feed, I believe there is only 2 or 3 hatchlings that aren't switched to a frozen thawed rat pup yet. So we will try again this week, of course, and hopefully we can get them switched. If not, whoever purchased those, I will be sure to let that person or, you know, the customer know that that particular snake has not been switched over, obviously. That is our responsibility as the seller, obviously, to inform the customer what this hatchling is eating so they can have the greatest success with their new pet, breeder, or what have you. All right, so let's talk about this particular hatchling that we are going to assist feed tonight. This was from clutch number 2, and this is a black pastel banana that's a 50% het pied. Now, I tried the live mouse hopper about 2 weeks in a row with no success. I then tried a live rat fuzzy, and then the next week I tried a live rat pup. Now, for the first 2 to 4 feedings, I try to feed my hatchlings every 5 days. Not every 7 like some people. I try to do every 5 days. I have found that we have greater success with establishing a feeding pattern. So for the first 2 to 4 feedings, it's every 5 days at about a month. So after 4 feedings, then we go to every week. So every 5 days, these are the things that I tried with this hatchling with absolutely no success. I even tried a frozen thaw just to see maybe if the snake would take this with no success. Now, we did have them on paper towels, and I took this suggestion from Justin Kabelka off of one of his videos. He starts all of his hatchlings on the paper towels. That way, if you run into feeding issues such as this, you have something to switch to. So about 4 weeks in, when we had all of our other hatchlings eating well and this one wasn't, we switched her from paper towels to our Reptile to our cocoa bark to kind of switch up the substrate. Sometimes this will kind of click their brain into a different mode. Sometimes they will start eating. In this case, this female she definitely was like, I ain't eating. So we switched the substrate. We gave her about 5 days to kind of acclimate. We tried the live mouse hopper again. We tried the rat pup again. We went through the motions again. And now we have a snake who has been solely living off of the yolk that she absorbed, has not taken a single meal since coming out of the egg. So now it's gotten to the point, do we let this snake starve to death and die, or do we consider assist feeding, which is essentially force feeding the snake? You take a small prey item such as a pinky rat and you kind of shove it down, which I'm going to show you in a second. So it is essentially force feeding in order to save the life of a snake. Now, there are a lot of arguments that say, you know, let nature take its course. If it doesn't want to eat, it can't thrive. This is captivity. None of this happens naturally. We control the environment, from the lighting to the feeding to the substrate to everything that goes on. So this is not a natural kind of survival of the fittest environment. So we're going to do everything we can to try to preserve life in this case, and that is going to be force feeding. Now, it has been shown that usually after you force feed 1, maybe 2 meals, then it kind of tricks their brain and then they will start eating on their own. Sometimes it may take a little longer. It was about 3-4 days ago that I did offer a live mouse hopper again after the initial assist feed with no luck. So now we are 4 days later after that attempt, and now we are going to attempt to assist feed again in order to keep those calories in the snake to obviously, hopefully preserve life. Obviously this is a really good looking girl, but in the end, it is just to preserve life. So one of the techniques that I have found is obviously you warm up a frozen thawed rat pink. You do not want to use live in this case. You're going to have a snake that is squirming around fighting you to begin with. You don't want to be fighting with a live prey item. That is just completely unnecessary for that pinky to suffer in that manner. just use a frozen thawed. We warm it up, and then a technique that I took from Urban Constrictors is to use a ballpoint pen to gently push it down. Obviously the snake still has quite a bit of teeth, so you don't want to be sticking your finger down in there and accidentally kind of, you know, get all those teeth in there. So you want to use something that doesn't have a sharp end, or you don't want to be using feeding tongs to try to push this down. You don't want to risk injuring the different organs in the inside of your hatchling's mouth. So I thought the ballpoint pen, obviously we sterilized the end of it, you know, but it has a nice tapered end. It's kind of got a round edge on it. So if we accidentally kind of, you know, hit the inside of the hatchling's mouth, we're not going to be doing any damage. So let's go ahead and get straight to the assist feed. All right, so this is our baby hatchling that we're going to go ahead and assist feed. And then I have a warmed up pinky rat over here off to the side. And we have our sterilized ballpoint pen. But yes, this is the little girl. She started looking, oh, you're going to hiss at me, because she knows what's about to happen. So let's just go ahead and get started. So obviously we want to get the back of the head nice and gently without getting bit. Come on. Sorry, let me get her. They move around quite a bit. This is a lot easier with 2 people, but obviously I am here by myself. But you want to try to get this kind of back here and get it gently underneath your arm, so the body is out of the way, because they will actually fling. There, she's going to try to fling her tail, which you might see here in a little bit. All right, so we're going to get our pinky, which we have right here. Let's see if we can get you, girl. There goes the tail. I'm trying to look in the camera while I'm doing this, so bear with me. Come on. So we're going to use the pinky to gently pry open the mouth. Come on. Which is a lot easier said than done. There we go. Come on. This girl is exceptionally feisty. All right, it's a little bit better grip. We got to get the tail out of the way. All right. Make sure we're in frame here. Come on. There we go. Get it open. There we go. So now that we've got it, now once I get it to here, I try to ease up my grip around the neck a little bit. And then we're going to try to keep our fingers out of the way. And she is going to try to spit it out. So what we're going to do is now we're going to take our ballpoint pen and we are going to gently start to push it down. Which is, like I said, a lot easier said than done, because she's going to want to keep spitting it out. You know, I've watched a lot of videos where people do this and it looks exceptionally easy, but this girl is just something else. Come on. God, she is fighting me like crazy. Now, another tip that I got from Joey at Morph Depot, you know, because I was having a little bit of a hard time with my first assist feed. He said the key is to getting the front legs in, and then after that, makes it a lot harder for them to regurgitate it back up. Because essentially what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to push it back out, and if you can get at least the first half of it down, then it makes it a lot harder for them to regurgitate it back up. So we've got the first half of it down. Let's see, let's get it a little bit more, and then we'll see if, a lot of times once you've gotten it about that far, now we're just gonna let her kind of sit, catch her breath from all of that movement, and let her finish the rest. All right, well, there you have it, a successful assist feed. So now we're gonna go ahead and put this girl back. So we're gonna very gently put her back in her tub, close her up, let her digest. All right, well, that is it for this video. Now, obviously, I am still brand new to assist feeding, so my technique still needs a little improvement. But like with everything else, with practice, you know, you get a lot better at things. So this was only, I want to say, I had 2 failed attempts at the assist feed because I wasn't quite sure how far to push it down before I kind of let the hatchling kind of take over. So this would be my second successful attempt at assist feeding, and I think I've pretty much got it down now. You really have to get those at least front legs past the jawline, about halfway down, before they, you know, you're less likely to have them spit it up. The first couple times I just kind of had the head back there, and then the hatchling literally opened up their mouth, you know, as far as they could, and literally just dropped it out. And they do that because obviously they don't want to get their teeth stuck in it to drop it out. So the first time was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit frustrating. And then the second time I, you know, had success, but I was trying to use my feeding tongs, which I do not recommend doing that. I did not hurt my snake in any way, but it just made me really nervous. So I'm glad I found the ballpoint pen technique from Urban Constrictors. I highly recommend that, or some other object that, you know, is very soft like that. So that way you don't risk hurting any of the structural organs inside the snake's mouth. Now, when you're doing this, obviously, it's just like a snake would normally eat. They can still breathe. You could probably see in the video footage where you can see their organ open and close, you know, so they can breathe. So all in all, it's not hurting the snake. Obviously, they don't like it, but like I said before, this is to preserve life, and that is why we do it, because we care about the animal and we want them to survive. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you did, comment down below. Maybe share some other techniques that maybe you use to assist feed to kind of help out somebody else, maybe help out myself. I'd be willing. I'm probably gonna have to assist feed this girl probably one more time. So I'm glad to, you know, take any advice. Drop it in the comment down below. But so far, the ballpoint pen thing has been working fantastic. So again, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay sane, get out there and make your own footprints.